I can't do it now that I've said I'm going to do it. Or rather, I can't stop now that I've said I'm going to do it. The problem is there's also the variable of how close I stand. So what I should do is I should stand right up against this and start, at increments. So I'm going to aim for the middle of this, whatever that is. So that was too much. I got to go... Oh no, the ball went south. Ah! So anyways, that was, it's been bothering me.
I do think I liked the way that was described as far as appreciating both the books and the movies without having
that was close.
to crap on one or the other. Because it bothers me sometimes when people are like, yeah, but the book is better. It's like, well, of course it is, because it always is going to be.
Well, that's pretty much a universal.
So I feel like you have to then take it in separate perspectives and separate contexts, because if you don't,
here's a random,
and you try to conflate the two, you end up being disappointed always.
Yeah, random segue to a different subject matter of talking of adaptations in books. I saw that was real close.
So close.
Confound it, Jim!
Just cap your ball.
Okay. Let's play street basketball. Whoa! Holy crap. How can I not do this if I can huck a steel pin 40 yards?
Back in the day, I used to be able to throw a pigskin a quarter mile. All right, go ahead.
There was a post I saw that was interesting. It was someone ranting basically about the Sherlock BBC series, which you don't see. That generally gets some mega praise, and not undeservedly.
Huh.
But they were basically saying, they were, I think, a little harsh, where they were quite critical of it being not too faithful to the characters in ways that I can appreciate. Because I remember back when it was out, I maintained that it's a well-made thing as far as, narrative and storytelling. But I think it's a similar deal with The Lord of the Rings, where you're going, is it a good product? Yes, because it had effort and care. The actors were great, and it was like they did all the things right. But I don't know that it's a great adaptation for the same reasons, because it was trying to be, it had to be its own thing. It had to be a show rather than a book, and therefore they had to make things. Okay, see, that looked like it went straight through. Jim. Why is it Jim? Why is Jim just an inherently humorous name? Is it because of Gaffigan?
I feel like Gaffigan's the reason for me.
Jim, don't code that.
Your basketball has a last name and it's Gaffigan.
What if I
did Granny Duncan?
No, I'm gonna do something far funnier. Oh, come on.
It just comes back and just lands on your head and you die.
Oh, come on now. All right. A dunk is, a shot's a shot, man. And these shots all stink.
Just Granny Duncan.
But I'm not tall enough. I don't have...
Well, I'm saying underneath. You push it up underneath.
Oh, no. I'm not going to be that cheap. I know that I can do this. I didn't think I could actually aim, directly straight up. So I just give it a slight angle. Okay, Jim, this has no angle. I think this went straight up every time. Come on now, Jim. Let's do things sensibly. Well, that was too far, Jim. I'm going to blame Jim for all of it.
Don't question his physics. He's crunched the numbers multiple times.
I have a simulations degree. That was the reason they made me do this. They know I can crank out physics simulations like nobody's business.
And then I coded all the shadows.
Okay. How long have we spent doing this? Because I probably...
I'm not playing right now, pal. I'm just waiting for you to make up your mind.
My mind's made up. I'm not leaving till this is done. I was using the royal weed.
Oh! That I swear was in.
Now you got me paranoid. I could have sworn there was an achievement
I think this needs to be the thumbnail.
So here you go. Just go. Hang on. Where do you go? That didn't even work. I can't even jump, man. I got hydraulic legs and I can't even jump.
White guy's got no hops.
Even despite the hydraulic legs. The problem is I have no power control. It's literally just huck. That's the only button I have is the launch. Come on. Pick it up.
You go back into Lim and say, is there any way to get more finesse out of these hands?
I'm loving the raw piston power, but I could use some precision. I've broken every door I've interacted with. My office is threatening to sue after I punched a woman. Okay. That had to be. Here's where I'm going to take...
And my love life. Don't even get me started.
There's this chick who's been following me. She thinks I'm augmented.
She's into it, but she has no idea that she'd die. Well, come on.
Oh, that is just the scariest thought ever. I don't even want to conceive of any of the ways that could go wrong. Oh, man. Oh, well, see, hey, look at what we've got out of this. I've created humor with dogged persistence. Anyways, I don't think this is gonna happen. So, what do we do? Here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna like walk away, and I'll be like, screw you, Jim, and then I'll throw it once and it'll go in. But the problem is now that I've said that, I've jinxed it. I'm gonna just be like, this sucks. You suck, Jim. Ugh. Yeah, okay. I was afraid it was gonna.
Yeah, okay.
I was afraid it was actually gonna happen. All right, fine. Where did the ball go? I'll give it a, whatever. I don't think I can do the granny thing, so I'm just gonna say, hey, how you guys want to just let me kind of drop that here. There.
She's different. Oh.
Well, okay. Clearly, Jim didn't work on the flaming barrels. The physics of those flaming barrels don't even get me started. Yeah, no, that's most certainly a different person. I'm not actually sure it is a person.
Her eyes are all dropped out, too. That was like...
Well, yeah. Hello, my name is Yes.
Is that what it says? It looks like lies.
I thought that was one letter.
Hello, my name is
Yes.
Yaz.
Oh, I'm still... you've ruined me with that. I don't think I'll ever recover.
Neither will she.
Okay, we're going to be done with that now. You got another topic? Are we going to... I can't let this go. I have a slight obsessive personality, if you couldn't tell. Come on. Oh, I bounced off the back, literal top of the backboard.
So I did have a curiosity.
You had a curiosity, one.
Is that I was sitting there
life.
thinking about debate and about just discussion and why it is that I think I've said this before.
Come on.
That was...
I got an under ball. You're not... I couldn't think of any way to correct that midstream.
Just granny it. Right there. Do it.
Whoa!
What was that?
That was the
Jim.
That was the ghost of Jim going, that's cheating! I put in special code! If I don't
No granny shots for you.
Woo! Woo!
Okay, now the physics are just giving you a big fat finger.
So Jim was most certainly an anti-cheating. I can respect that, Jim. I just am losing respect for you. Okay, 1, 2, go.
As all of your colleagues did.
I gotta get into the.
I was thinking
gotta get into
that
Wu
the other
Wei
day.
space. Gotta try to not try.
It's
Be basketball.
And I was thinking about why it is that I think it's a
Dribble up the court
lost, it's a dying art, and for the longest time I always thought it was due to, or at least I speculated it was due to lack of desire, or like people don't actually enjoy it or think it's annoying or whatever it is, and there may be maybe a percentage of people that applies to.
I got it in the box. Where's my achievement, Jim? I got it in a receptacle.
Basketball in a box.
That's the nature of the sport. You put the ball in a receptacle, isn't that? I think that sounds a bit like a Strange Planet sketch.
But I actually have since revised my position on why it is that people don't like to debate, and it's basically
because they don't have any actual opinions.
Well, no, it's inspired by a thought that Jordan Peterson had, which is that most of life is a competence issue.
Well, okay, so
And
you're couching it better than I did, but it's because no one has any opinions.
No, I'm not saying it's a matter of not having opinions. I'm saying people aren't good at debate.
Well, true, but I think the problem is people can't debate because they don't actually have opinions. Because an opinion is a verb. You have to opine from the Latin.
But
you have to actually consider and form an opinion.
But then you also have to be willing.
What most people have are just reactions
at defending that opinion.
Well, exactly. But the thing is, if you had a genuine opinion, you would know how to defend it because you would have formed it. The problem is people have either spoon-fed just
ideology,
or they have reactions they can't justify. So they say, that offends me. Why? Well, because you're a terrible person. Because that's as far as they can go. Because in their minds, the only offense ever comes from terrible people.
Which, again, comes back to Jordan Peterson's whole ideologue concept of he hates that particular notion.
So I think would be my explanation.
But I mean, well, again, I think... So,
Jim.
Confession, I don't like playing Monopoly.
Oh, I don't like it either.
And there's a reason, and pure and simple, I just will admit, a large portion of it is because I suck at it. And I just
That's not even my reason. I don't think it's that... I swear, Jim! The problem is I can never tell.
Are you sure that this is an achievement? This guy's been playing basketball for 30 minutes.
The real joke was that there was no achievement.
There isn't.
So help me, Jim. Woo! Okay. Now you've got me concerned. You keep up what you're saying. I'm going to confirm something real quick.
But no, so I don't like it because of the fact that I'm not very good at it. And I think...
Nobody should like
in the same way, people stop debating or they become disenfranchised with the notion of debate because most people have walked away from conversations going, I got owned, or I didn't prove my point, or somebody had a better idea than me. And it's like, well, yeah, that makes you feel like crap, but it should also help
There is an achievement.
having... You're, of course, going to hate debate. But there's even a schematic for how he formulated the...
hang on.
But, if you are actually good at it and you become competent at it, then you are far more likely to enjoy it. And I think that's probably just me... That's a commentary in life in general on saying, be competent at stuff. If you want to actually enjoy life, competence. It's a great option.
Well, I think.
Because incompetence is actually the best way to end up not enjoying life. And I think sometimes we get it backwards. Like, some people literally... We've talked about this before, but about the idea that, since when did leisure become lazy?
Well, you're leading me to a topic that was another one I was gonna say.
But I mean, the notion that people think, I want to sit on my butt and not do anything. It's like, no, you don't. You think that's what you want to do, but
because
then you get there and it's not.
And it's brown and prickly.
It's brown and prickly.
It's I believe
your butt. That's right.
Well, it'll certainly happen if you sit for too long. But I think it was Lincoln who said something like. This is one of the tips they said is that it's helpful if you get up on top of this. So you don't have to wait for anything. It's not a situational thing. I just am apparently... okay, Jim is certainly playing fast and loose now. He's messing with us because we're the only people who've ever given him attention. But he says...
like he's some ghost in the game.
Well, all the suffering.
He's coding in real time.
But he says something like is it self-control or discipline, or it's something like that, is the ability to balance what you want with what you want most. Because the whole point is, yes, everyone wants to eat cake for every meal and do nothing but sleep and play video games or whatever your particular hobby is. But that's what you want in a moment.
Right.
That's not what you want with your life.
Right.
And the trick is being able to balance, no, I know what I want in a long term, and I know that this short term want, see, that looked a lot like it was in there. I know that this short term want isn't actually that.
To fulfill what I'm long term.
So that's the challenge. And I think you get me into a topic I was going to talk about, because I came across...
Can I piggyback off that just real quick?
Well, sure.
Before you jump into that, I agree. Jordan Peterson actually talks about that when it comes to breaking addictions, too. He says one of the biggest things that you can do, no matter what the addiction is, whether it's something as easy as I eat too much chocolate cake, or whether it's like an actual, like I have a drug problem or
okay, that was real close.
I don't know, sexual addiction or whatever. Then he talks about the idea of, well, this is how you resolve that, is by saying it's not about just not doing it. If you constantly think about, I can't do it, I can't do it,
break
I can't do it.
habits. You can only form habits.
So his whole argument is you have
habits.
to say, what is it that I want to do better? Or how do I want to better myself? And one of the things is to let those things slough off. And if it doesn't represent the person you want to be, and it end up organically coming off of your, as you said, building a new habit. So anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
I think I'm getting closer. I think I'm narrowing down the appropriate aiming range. All right, it's got to be higher than that. But I came across, random, don't know why, it was just a collection of quotes and sayings regarding the ancient Spartans.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it was recommended to me, nor do I even really know why I clicked on it. I mean, I occasionally get philosophical stuff. I don't generally do that on YouTube much, because I find that philosophy YouTube is a little hit and miss of, college people who think they know what they're talking about sometimes. So I was just like, I don't normally, but I clicked on it. And it was a bunch of just historical, quotes from people like Herodotus and Plutarch and historians of the day. And I was like, wow, there's a lot that is worth unpacking in this. And one of the things that ties in directly with what we were just talking about is I'm gonna forget his name. I believe it was Lycurgus or something like that. I don't know how it's pronounced. I'm not Greek. But it was basically one of the first Spartan sort of law, the person who laid down a lot of Spartan law tradition. And so it was, someone asked,
moral tradition, moray?
Well, I don't think they refer to him as as law. So it's almost I think he was sort of similar, like a philosophy, but also he actually had a hand in structuring societal philosophy, I guess, which is basically what politics is. And so someone asked, I believe it was one of the kings at the time, saying, what was the greatest sort of gift that Lycurgus, or whatever his name, how you ever pronounce it, was imparted to Spartan people? And he said that it was a contempt of pleasure.
Huh.
And I'm like, wow, that is such a short response that can be unpacked so tremendously. Because that's exactly the same thing. You're going, why is it that we are just pleasure's good enough. We don't actually care about, any kind of deeper meaning. It's just, whatever I want now is fine. And if that comes at the cost of anything in the future, then, well, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just like, imagine if we actually taught that. Because, again, that's most, I think, problems we currently deal with stem from that. It's just we're a hyper-convenience-based culture.
Yes, very much.
Everything is easy, and therefore everything is, meaningless, essentially. It's so how would you, what if that was how you trained your kids? Going, anytime you catch yourself going, oh, this is fun, I like, that kind of, not to say that you have to, because of course they didn't stick around forever, so it's not like they knew everything. And I think they probably took it to an extreme, but I would say at the very least, you'd want to, because I think I saw some, as I was reading up on it, because that got me into a sort of research rabbit hole. And someone tried to present a counter-argument saying, clearly it wasn't, truly a contempt of pleasure because they were also quite artistically refined as a people, which you might not have guessed.
That's passion.
Well,
that's
a different
notion.
My opinion on that take of it. Was you don't do art for the sake of pleasure. Right. Now, the fact that art is, a pleasurable thing is secondary to why it is done.
Right.
And I think that's so. If you had to qualify it, I would say it's more of a contempt for pleasure for its own sake.
Yes.
Something that serves you, that doesn't serve you at all. And, oftentimes actually costs you something.
Right.
And even if it's as simple as, well, I did this for several hours and I wasted several hours.
Right.
And I don't feel fulfilled. It's not like I spent those several hours and went, wow, I'm glad I got this thing done that I was working on. It's just, yeah, okay, well, I got a trickle of dopamine for 2 hours and I don't feel like I actually did anything.
Right.
Guess what? You didn't.
Guess. So
it's just like that. That's something that ought to be brought back.
Yeah.
And who also should be brought back is Jim so I can throttle him. I'm no longer sympathetic, Jim. They say it's possible. One of the suggestions was you could just find a way to get up on top of the building and throw it from there.
Drop it in.
But that feels awfully cheap. And I don't even know how to get up to the top of that building.
It would be a lot of work just to hopefully get it right the first time.
Well, they recommended you could save when you're up there and you wouldn't have to keep trying it. But I swear I've done it before. I'm not going to keep doing this, though. How long have we been? Is this going to be a double?
Well,
it might as well be a double. We're halfway through to his nose.
Start it when you start this basketball journey.
No, because that, I think, was before the hour. We'll have to cut it somewhere.
Just have a thumbnail that just says, just basketball.
Let's drown out Deus Ex basketball sim. Well, that's basically all we accomplished. I'm going to huck this at your face. Hi, pal.
He just gave you the stink eye. He's rubbing his hands like, yeah, do it.
Yeah, do it. I dare you. Bonk. Whoa! I didn't realize your augmentations in your face were so naturalistic,
Your
dude.
head is like flint.
You've got a titanium nose, and I couldn't even tell. You should thank your limb surgeon. He did a great job. Will we leave this as a redemptive arc? Will I come back to this in the future? Because I'm genuinely at the point...
Are you asking ironically, or...?
Well, because I said I was going to do it, so now that means I have to. The question is it...
That's a fallacy, and if I've ever heard one.
Well, no, I
said it, therefore I must.
Well, that's not a fallacy. I'm not saying it's logical. I'm saying it's, personal. Jim, I'll do it later. Because I can't do it now. Can't do it later, I do it now. Hey,
your spray paint's empty, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's out. This is like the most milquetoast graffiti. Fight the power. I can't read that. Something augmented puppets? Something augmented puppets? What does that say? I don't know. And then some kind of garlic with skulls, eyes, and bullets with teeth.
Oh, no. Go back. Look at her.
Panic in Detroit.
That's Poison Ivy.
Well, she's certainly rocking the color scheme. Whoa. She certainly seems somewhat inhuman. Well, whatever. I just wasted hours of my life. I bet you know what that feels like. Oh, that's okay. She's doing her nails. I thought that was like a blunt or something. So I just wasted hours of my life, like you. Shall we change the subject?
You.
Well, is there more? Did you ever have I feel like everyone had a fascination with the Spartans after the whole 300 thing came out.
I think I had an appreciation for what they were.
Meet with Detective Chase. Did I already do this?
We did.
Oh. So it's just because it didn't save when you died, because didn't you get shot?
Yeah.
Can I not skip this? Oh.
Try to finesse him into give him...
Well, but I don't have the option until the end, so...
First off,
First, it's thanks. I can't code anymore since because augmentations.
Captain Penn's office, that's where I'm at.
Captain Penn, where is that?
That's upstairs. That's the one we broke into.
How did you get assigned to this
He has
place?
a bed in his office.
Well, you know, if you're working late. So...
Well, I've seen
Okay, maybe just...
damn it. Okay.
So he's not going to tell me what he saw. And I'm not able to hack that thingy up there. I don't have any Bible bucks.
What?
Whatever they're calling my points.
I don't have any Bible bucks. You
Hey.
gotta put up a picture of Bible Man when you say
Every
that.
kid who was ever in any kind of Sunday school will know what I meant. Can I buy upgrade points? I might be able to. I think the clinic has those options. I'd like to point out they were kind of... This game was a little bit prophetic with their predictions about the Prius.
Yeah.
The Navig. That is terrible. And then I guess, what is a Prius? Does a Prius even mean anything? That's a question to ask. Hey, Toyota. What is the meaning of the word Prius? Okay, the computer's doing something very strange.
I think my computer just took a dump.
It froze for a second, but it might have just been the screen.
I don't know.
Because you'll notice how the timer jumped up. Like, it
Yeah,
was
but
frozen at 127, and it's now at 130, and it jumped straight from one to the other.
You want to just roll with the fact that it's still rolling?
Well, I mean,
It's
now...
jumping in weird little micro
Yeah, but I
increments
don't
at
think
this
that
point.
was... That's just Audacity being not very elegant. Because you'll notice the timer's going...
Elegant.
The timer's going up in
Is it?
actual second increments.
Oh, okay. Well,
So I think that was just a weird glitch. Let's hope. I'll find out in the edit. What's going down there? What were we talking about before that? Before we cacked our pants?
I fear that if you lose all this, that'll just be like,
Well,
no.
who cares? If we lose all of it, we lose all of it.
Who cares? Basketball!
Well, that wasn't the point of what I was talking
No,
about. I was talking
sorry,
about
you were-
Bible bucks.
Yeah,
I can't buy Bible bucks, so what was I going to do?
I don't know. Go.
I need to upgrade. What is it I need the Bible bucks for? I needed to upgrade my hacking ability,
hacking, or
so
you
that
can
I
just
can
hack or you can just upgrade your strength and beat him with your fists.
I don't think I can. I don't think that's even an option. So what can I do? What are the options I have? What are the... Have I gone to all the side quests? Is there a side quest I haven't done?
Can you do a social enhancement without any
That's an
money?
augmentation.
But I know, but what?
Locate Tyndall's apartment building. I don't think I've even tried that yet, so I'm going to go see what happens if I do that. I've got an objective now. What were we talking about? You talked about something about you can't... Oh, I was on a tangent. We'll get back to that later, but I was on a funnier tangent. Because there was some skit, basically, that someone was like... They had posited a theory of, like, imagine a... It was a Tumblr thing, so it was random, and I can't explain why, because that's just what Tumblr's like. But it was like a skit of, imagine, this police officer in New York who's like quintessential Italian, always is dressed in suits and stuff, and he's like always getting investigated because everyone swears he's part of the mob. But it turns out he's just like an upstanding...
turns out he is.
He's just an upstanding Italian like citizen, like he's got a big Italian family, and he's very stereotypical, so everyone thinks that's like... He's always doing, work for his cousin that he doesn't name, and he's got a bunch of friends named Tony. It's like they made this whole... It was like this running long post of jokes. It's like it was funny, and someone posted basically, this actually exists as a Japanese anime of a guy who's a former Yakuza boss who retires but still goes about daily life with the intensity of a Yakuza boss. And so apparently it was actually made into a show, because it was, I think, originally an anime. Or the other one, manga, the comic equivalent.
Yeah.
And it was, there's one scene I just happened to come across on YouTube where it's like, he's in the supermarket, he goes up to the lady, he's like, hey, do you have the white powdery stuff? And so she just stares dead in the face and is like, we don't sell that here. And then his wife comes along and is like, he's actually just looking for the flour. I was like, okay. So that's what made me think of that when you tell you, like, I'd like to buy you. Just like, this isn't that kind of place. Or I'm going to need some insurance ID.
Sir, your hat and your keys.
And your limbs. See, that would be terrible for people in the future who are already forgetful with their stuff. Your arm. What if you go to the limb clinic, they're working on your arm, you just leave without it? Thanks, all right, I'll see you next week. Sir, your arm. Thanks. And sir, your other arm. You're patrolling my secret entrance, pal. I kind of need you not to be here. Oh, he's got electronic arms, too.
They're malfunctioning. He's swatting a fly.
You want to arm wrestle just to see who's got the better bionic implants?
He's walking away slowly.
He's not up for it. I'm looking for a... Look. Oh, wait. Are you serious?
You went the wrong direction?
I did go the wrong direction, but apparently this is the side quest. So I talked to Chase, and this is where I have to go. That room wasn't a place I could go yet. I also don't think this is a place I can go yet. Because I'm not strong enough to move the dumpsters, and I don't have the leg enhancement to be able to jump this fence. I forget how many of these side quests are dependent on how much
It's a
you've
little bit
upgraded.
like one of those games where you have to go and find out you need a ladder first before you grab the ladder.
Well, kinda.
It seems a little annoying.
Anyways, what were we talking about before my weird tangent with the drug and brothel analogy?
I don't remember.
Something about Spartans and how
Yeah.
they're... You said
How
something
they're-
about like...
I said on a
can't apply
military
it.
group, I think that it...
Well,
yes,
because clearly
I
it doesn't...
appreciate who
It's
they
not
were,
it's not a perfectly functioning society, as evidenced by the
but
fact
I don't
they're
know that
not
you
around.
can apply Spartan philosophy to like all things.
Well, certainly not. I don't think discarding babies at birth because they look weak is something that would go down well today.
Exactly.
I think we frown upon that now. But I mean, I think the thing that stuck with me is that contempt of pleasure. Going, you know what? Make your life a challenge. Don't make it like unnecessarily suffering.
Yeah.
Like don't, because there's a difference between that and like an ascetic kind of like I wear sackcloth and sleep on a bed of nails. It's like, okay, that might be taking it a little far.
Right.
Whereas if you're just saying, life isn't. Why is an easy life a thing we want?
Right, exactly.
Rather than, this is another topic. I mean, it's sort of related. But I had this thought earlier in the week. I forget what prompted it. But I was just thinking, like, why is it we went in a time where, the development and things of technology and all that was pretty... It was always about how can we make life better.
You went in a time?
No, it's like that was what it was about. It's like,
Sure.
we have this technology to, how can we improve our lives and, some of those kinds of early developments. Whereas now it's like, now all of our technology is just about making stuff easier.
Yeah.
And that's not the same thing. An easy life is not the same thing as a good life.
Right.
And so we've confused. I found the apartment building. How can I get in?
Well,
We've confused
Jordan
making
Peterson's
things better
whole-
for making them easier.
It's
'cause they're
Jordan
not the
Peterson's
same.
whole don't ever exchange something valuable for something expedient.
Exactly.
That's all.
But I think the problem is we just have this idea that's like, well, that's what technology is for, and it's like, well, no. It kind of goes back to that thing we talked about a while back of what was the last truly helpful piece of technology that didn't have a hidden cost and didn't secretly to reframe it. What was the last technological advancement that was more about making life better than easy? And again, I'm not sure I have the answer, and this is not a tall enough box to help me jump over this. I need augmentations for everything. I genuinely don't know what they expect me to do because I don't have any augmentations to use.
Take the basket. That's what gives you the points.
Don't, Jim, I banish you.
You make it seem like he actually enjoyed coding that. Maybe he was just
Maybe he did. He put a lot of
just
effort into it.
I'm telling you.
You think he'd have quit if he didn't like it. Okay, I know that I have
Maybe he was
some
under
kind
contract.
There's some kind of invisibility. Oh, okay, so I don't have that yet. Because my thought is, what are the things I can do? I have 3 missions. I have to somehow get into this guy's apartment, which I don't see a way of doing because it's behind this fence. So, trying to look. I mean, I could climb up this fire escape and maybe get on the roof over here, but that doesn't seem like it would let me into this building. That looks like a separate building. I could maybe still give it a try, but I'm unconvinced. Because if I can't do this, then, like, I don't know what I can do.
I don't know.
Because the cop, I mean, unless I'm willing to just cause a shootout at the police station in order to get the evidence I need, but something tells me that that's not the right path. Oh, whoa, 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 hang on. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Oh, are you freaking, what's hurting me?
Oh. Like, that was a super
it is past my bedtime. What am I doing up?
That's a super unconvinced dip.
And she actually,
Just, That's totally what it sounded more like a surfer thinking something was cool.
He made me experience high tide. Like, seriously, I was like, oh man, it's narcolepsy is what he's got. It's prosthetic narcolepsy.
It's only when he jumps large distances.
Well, that was
Just
pathetic, though. My guess was that like one of those downtown things where all of the shop signs,
those downtown things.
all of those shop signs have
all
the
those
nails
other
sticking
people
up.
are doing it.
Well,
Just,
if you'd shut up and let me finish my joke, you
ahead.
ruined the joke.
Sorry,
now.
go ahead.
It's like you've seen where all of the signs and like arches and things have the nails sticking up so birds don't sit on them and poop on people.
Yeah. You're the bird.
I'm the bird in this situation. They had to make them really big because now people can jump and fly.
Twice as long as a man.
So now they... Oh, no!
No!
Whoa, who is you? Wait, whoa, she's an android. She's budging. Ah! Ever since you socked me in that industrial house...
Oh, I stopped it!
My jaw prosthetic can't stop vibrating. Doctor, please help. I haven't eaten in 3 days. Well, everything is lost. Well, actually, no, nothing is lost because nothing's been done. Oh, you can go back behind the scenes at the clinic? This seems like something you shouldn't be allowed to do. Oh, no, this is where the authorized personnel... People can walk in the hallway, that's fine, but don't have the authorized personnel go into the closets. I could just steal whatever's in that. It's probably some kidney. Hang on, what is that computer? Can you access that computer? It's on the desk. Ooh, you can maybe. Maybe this will give you something you could use. There you go. He only wanted to give your patients some general information. Hang on, inspection from the World Health Organization. It's scrolling is with the triggers, I believe.
That's dumb.
Yeah, it's a bit unintuitive. Now, whenever augmentation... Well, you got it. Were you even reading this? Augmentation decides the patient's choice, and is alone the patient, not the employer, will be the one to decide. Oh. So we get to the choice. Seraph doesn't get to make us have stuff. Who? Treat some courtesy. All employees must ensure the world has good. Okay. Are any of these going to have... I thought maybe there would be some password or something useful for later, but I don't see anything that looks like it. I don't know. So, yeah. It was just a rabbit trail of history going back to the Spartan thing. Because I think there's elements, again... You can't adapt everything and say that it was like, oh, this is how it should have been, because obviously they didn't stick around, but there's clearly stuff that we could apply. They're walking into each other in a very funny way. So I don't know.
I want out of here.
I want out.
Larrabee wants out. Okay, I'm really annoyed that we're having to do that.
Well, but do what? We didn't lose anything. Let's be real here. No progress was
I have
made.
to talk to Chase again.
No, you already talked to him.
No, all of that is lost.
Who's Chase? Oh, well, but no progress was made there either. You click one conversation, you hold X a bunch of times, and then leave. You probably don't even have to ask him anything this time. So we got off the rant bus. That's how I have it in my notes about the Halo thing.
Woos woos. All right.
Here's a random one. Let's go on off some fluffy topics of culture that we do like. Oh, what? This didn't happen last time. What did you do?
Right now, I want to know who that corpse is. Head over to the police station and get his neural hub. And Adam, if you can't talk your way in, consider making a strategic retreat. There's got to be another.
Well, where were these hints when I needed them in my other life, David? Before I died on a roof shingle. I think that's what we still need the augmentations for, is because you have to jump a fence or do something to get onto the other side of the building. So maybe, well, it's too late. I think we already have saved after our first attempt at talking. That would have been our best strategy. I shan't. Go back. It literally says I shan't. No, the name of the store. The window you were just up against. It says I shan't. I don't know why that makes me laugh. It's just, oh, no, it says Ishanti. That's not nearly as funny. Wait, hang on. Hefekrocken? Zwipe!
Zwipe.
Royal Hellhounds? Hefekrocken? That is...
What's the lottery? Oh,
winning tickets for 30 million. Goodness, that's a lot.
30
Zwipe.
million, that's
Zwipe.
Wipe.
I still think that's I shan't.
Okay, I need to get into the man's house.
You gonna go see Chase and do nothing?
No, I'm not gonna go see Chase. How do I get out of? How do I get out of
I
here?
don't know. On a positive note, not all culture sucks, just a lot of it. You're not going to care about anything I'm about to mention because you probably didn't hear about it. Did you ever hear the big hubbub that was about Arcane, the show? There you go. So my hypothesis is proved. It was a show that came out last year. I was dismissive at first because it's based on League of Legends, which I've never played and don't have much interest in. And so I was like, okay, that's clearly not for me. And then all of the people went nuts about it. And I mean all of the people, like, everywhere. Like, peasants in rural China were talking about it. Posting on YouTube.
Because they're...
saying, wow, this is really good. So I was like, okay, well, it's still League of Legends, which means it's not for me. And then, apparently, it is, like, people say that it really has, it has, like, nothing to do with the show, or nothing to do with the game, really. Like, yes, there's characters and things, but if you don't know anything from the games, you don't have to bother with it. Why are we down here? That is a major wreck. And it's the woman. My goodness. She's persistent. She gets into car wrecks. She blocked the city. She's leaving. She's closing us in. You will be mine. I will have your augmented...
What you don't know is you will be mine eternally. Your eternal reward. Oh, that's terrible.
You'll never get out of Detroit.
Okay, I want.
What is it you're trying to do? I at least had my excuse for wasting an hour was basketball. Yours is just perambulation. Downtown apartments. What does that say? No, that's Chase. That's Tyndall's apartment, which we can't get into.
Well, that's where I want to go.
We already know we can't get into it.
Well, then what am I supposed to be doing?
I don't know. This is why I played basketball for an hour.
I don't know.
Look, so that's Detective Chase. We already saw him. I guess we have to go and get him to tell us.
Okay.
The problem is we screwed up our first attempt at the police office raid, and that now has me concerned that we won't. Like, I don't know any other means because we can't just go barging in. I don't think we have the necessary...
we screwed up something at the raid?
Well, because the last time we had to talk to our friend who used to work, or who used to be our friend who works there, and there was probably an option if we had done it right to convince him, but we failed at that. So we didn't convince him. So the apartment's to your left. But we have to somehow get over that. That's what I was attempting to do. I was trying to climb up on the roof to see if you could get over there. So you could try that again. Just make sure you jump better. I keep forgetting what I was talking about. Culture, Arcane, that's what it was. So basically, I learned that you don't actually have to know anything about League of Legends to watch it, and it was recommended on a list of. It was actually a YouTube video that was based on about how, like, I hate the term adult cartoons because it's so loaded with context it doesn't need. We need to find another word other than adult. But basically, it was sort of a video essay saying how... That was different. That was like I don't even know what that was.
He's a masochist.
You took that in a very different direction.
What were you thinking?
Because the first one was a little bit like the whole, like, oh, it's really late. I'm just going to lie down. Whereas that was like, I don't know, he spilled hot coffee on him or something. It's like he wasn't trying, he was trying not to make a big deal of it, but it did actually hurt. Like, I don't know, he was pulling a staple out of a stack of papers and got himself in the thumb. That happens sometimes. But it was a video essay basically like, oh, here's, this, because it was in 2021, it was what their argument was like when can you think of a better term for the adult cartoons? Because I hate that as a term. But like adult animated shows that are made for adult audiences. Not in any kind of perverse way. But like cartoons not for kids.
Yeah.
None of the ways you say this sound okay. But for example, one of the examples on it, we're back here, was Invincible, which we have both watched and both think is great.
Yeah.
And that is certainly not child friendly because it's quite violent. So, but I'm not sure if that earns the title of adult because I don't think it should. Either that or the connotation around the word adult needs to change, which it probably should also.
That's probably the more the commentary that needs to be discussed.
Yeah. But so because Invincible was on the, I think it was even in the thumbnail, I was like, oh, what are they talking about? This, and so I watched it, and so this was one of the ones that they brought up, and I had already been hearing the good stuff about it, saying like, oh, it's great for a bunch of these reasons. It's got really solid writing, and the animation's good, and all this. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll give it a shot. And so I'm sort of just at the beginning the opposite of the tail end. The first couple episodes, and it's interesting.
Huh.
I'm not sure that you'll care, but then again, I mean, I don't know if you don't care about League of Legends. I didn't either, so it doesn't matter, I suppose, if you don't know anything about League of Legends.
I know a lot about it. I mean, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, I had friends who were into it, and it's just not my style of game. I don't like MOBAs, mostly. They just... No, wait. Is it a MOBA? Massive Online... I don't even know what MOBA stands for anymore. I think it's one of those. But who knows? I don't, and I don't care. But, yeah. But I can say from even what little I have gleaned of it, the animation is actually quite... It has an almost... Into the Spider-Verse vibe.
Yeah.
Where it's
like 3D animation.
Where it's like, 3D animation, but they play with it in ways it's never been done before. Because it's based on a video game, so they kind of got experimental. I thought that was interesting. I'm going to try the old classic crouch jump. Anyone? That is... That is interesting, because that is very clearly a 2D image. But they are making it move such that it hopefully renders, but it doesn't right. Like, it's moving to try and help perspective, but it isn't moving correctly. That's interesting. Yeah. So I can't say much about it because, again, I'm not all the way through it. Well, he's silent that time. So what do you think is hurting me? Is it because we're moving that we keep dying, or did I just injure myself? Okay, so I'm not actively dying. I just hurt myself because I missed. My health is coming back. So the problem is we kept moving after being hurt, and that caused us to get hurt worse. That still doesn't explain our strange... whatever you'd call them.
Gyrations.
Well, that, but also whatever you
Undulation.
Oh, boy. Oh. That was just resignation's what that was. That was just, I'm never getting out of here.
I feel like we could It's...
Well, we have accomplished 0. Even if I had gotten Jim at least, that would have been an accomplishment. Literally.
Do you want to go back and
No,
fiddle
because I'm
with
not
Jim?
gonna. I would, but he'd die. Okay, they don't even have the thing I'm here for anyway, so whatever. But
Well, maybe next time. See you then.
that was.
Did you hear that disdain in
little
your
bit,
voice?
yeah, it was a
Well,
little-
well, then I guess we'll not help you today.
I guess we're all just wasting our time. Hey, I just spent an hour playing basketball and didn't get a single point.